Okay.
So we had an open thing.
With-
Khalyla saw somebody in Hawaii.
A lovely person.
No, the
In
guy,
fact,
like-
Bobby hand selected him. Literally.
Yeah.
He's a very handsome island thick boy. Is all I'll say. Road of love, this story that we create, doesn't have to be defined by such strict rules of monogamy.
Whoa, dude, what are you saying right now?
What I'm saying is that Bobby and I were in an open relationship. Down this road, should you ever come up to me and say, hey, you know what? This is what, whatever we need to
Nope.
do to
Nope.
spruce up our sex life.
Nope.
I went out.
To it, but I'm saying that these are the seeds that are being planted for that kind of situation. And what I'm saying is that I'm not gonna do that.
Because it was delicate.
It was a delicate thing.
He was
right?
also
We were going through
back
a lot of
on
different-
drugs.
There's so many different
There's
things.
so many different elements
to it, right? It was a dark time.
It was very fragile.
So it was,
we actually broke up for a while.
Yeah.
There are many reasons why Khalyla Kuhn is quickly becoming one of the most hated people in the podcast community. Now, before we continue, if you can please hit the subscribe button and the like button, it really helps out the channel a lot, and you can always unsubscribe later on. Thank you. Now, we can make it simple by stating the obvious. Her reputation has taken a bit of a hit during the last couple of months. However, most specifically, we will be taking a look at the accusations and the evidence that she was taking, or that she is still taking advantage of her partner Bobby Lee, the bizarre drama that she got into with Brendan Schaub, and also exposing very, very intimate details about Bobby Lee's personal life and his relationship status. But the reason behind why her popularity began to decline in the first place is actually completely unrelated to the previous points that I mentioned, and was actually caused by only one reason: her attitude.
Old narrative of me being a gold digger and stealing money from Bobby.
Do you think that's nice?
Oh no. But it's hang on one second.
Let me give you a quick background about them. They met back in 2013 through Tinder and physically first met at a coffee shop in Long Beach, California, where she was living. At first, Bobby Lee's fan and later on Tiger Belly fans saw her as, Bobby's caretaker and lover, because after all, she did meet him in 2013 when he was quote unquote broke and helped them build what is now a very, very successful comedy podcast, Tiger Belly. But over the last couple of months, their fan base has been turning against Khalyla specifically, making a lot of negative comments on different platforms like Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and on their subreddit page as well. A lot of the comments that are negative accuse her of manipulating Bobby Lee and being a gold digger, which, interestingly enough, is something similar to what Brendan Schaub is going through with his subreddit, with the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. And because of all the hate that she has been receiving, because of all the fans that have been throwing all that hate towards Khalyla, it forced Bobby and Khalyla to attempt to do damage control and essentially announce that they had officially broken up on a recent episode of Tiger Belly. Khalyla is in a very interesting, unique, and lucky situation, and she has taken great advantage of that. She has been able to have a comfortable life in California, which is one of the most expensive places to live in, makes a great income doing podcasts, and was able to surround herself with very, very talented people, which now allowed her the opportunity to branch off away from Bobby and start her own project, which is Trash Tuesday. But during the last couple of years, and after multiple different situations between them, Khalyla has been showing her true colors, and true Bobby Lee and Tiger Belly fans would begin to call her out and leave a lot of negative comments. Now, I'm a huge fan of Bobby Lee and anything that he does. I truly think he is a funny comic. But I was never really into Khalyla. I always thought it was kind of weird how much credit Bobby Lee gave her for his success. I'm not saying she didn't play a huge part in building Tiger Belly and maybe helping Bobby Lee out of a tough mental situation back in the day. But when it comes to how successful Bobby Lee is right now, how well he is known and how loved he is, that is only because of him. Because let me tell you one thing. Khalyla takes a lot of credit for being the business, the brains behind Tiger Belly and Bobby Lee's success in some of the episodes. But if that was the case, she would have done the same thing with all her exes, all her ex-boyfriends. She would have somehow financially help them to achieve some type of success. Instead, she would tell stories about how horrible of a girlfriend she was, about how she would cheat on them, manipulate them, and just be a horrible person to be in a relationship with. But she wants you to believe that she is not doing that now with Bobby Lee. Okay. We'll begin by taking a look at some of the excuses that Khalyla uses to try and justify all the hate, or to try and explain all the hate that she has been getting over the last couple of years. And we'll talk about some of the events that have taken place that have added towards the hatred against her. Okay, so in the world of podcasting, in my opinion, women have a pretty fair shot. I mean, if you take a look, some of the most successful podcasts out there are either hosted by women or have at least one female host. And the typical audience that listens to podcasts are usually 18 plus years old or much older. Now, the reason why I bring that up is to eliminate the idea that all her hate is coming from women hating simps. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but in my opinion, that's not what's going on here. I've read a lot of the negative comments and criticism that they receive on the subreddit. It just sounds like they are fans of the show that are unhappy with the situation that Bobby Lee has put himself in and the drama that has been going on lately. Next, when someone calls a person a gold digger, they're not trying to explain or to describe a person that steals from somebody else in a business situation. That's just called being a horrible business partner and a horrible human being. The definition of a gold digger is a term used for a person, typically a woman, who engages in a type of transactional relationship for money rather than love. Now, the reason I say that is because when Khalyla brings up the gold digger accusation, she just tells Bobby Lee to call his accountant. She does that in an effort to show everybody that the income that is being made from the Tiger Belly podcast is good, that she is not stealing from Bobby Lee. But that is not the point. She doesn't address the main point, which is that the reason why she got with Bobby Lee in the first place, even back in 2013, was because he had more money than her, and that she saw a future where she would financially benefit from being with Bobby, whether it is by associating herself with the LA comedy and celebrity scene, or directly through financial means. You know, if Bobby Lee hits it big, or even back then when he was making a very decent amount of money from Mad TV, she could benefit from that directly by being with him. One of the things that made fans feel different about her is the way that she would manipulate Bobby Lee. There are many instances that you can find on video of her manipulating Bobby Lee, but we are going to focus on a more recent scenario that happened, which was the drama between Khalyla and Brendan Schaub. Anyone who watched the H3 podcast episode where Bobby Lee and Khalyla called out Brendan Schaub could tell that Bobby Lee did not want to be there. On the other hand, it was clear that Khalyla was pumped to be there.
My heart's beating because I want to be delicate about this.
100%.
Okay, yes.
You tread
The way she kept finishing Bobby Lee's sentences whenever he would hold back from talking bad about Brendan Schaub.
So
It's short.
I like to say this about the man. All right, you know how difficult it is to go from one
Oh my
thing.
God.
What?
You don't have to, like.
Do what?
Ride his
Can I
dick.
say what I'm
Yeah.
doing?
It was pretty wild. She would say things like, she would call him out, literally. She would call out Bobby Lee for holding back and for being scared of being bullied, which is completely insane, because when she started getting bullied by her own fans and subreddit, she forced Bobby Lee to essentially go on a 30-minute rant at the end of their episode and take blame for everything. That's pathetic. It was very clear that everything that happened during the entire drama was her idea. Going to the H3 podcast and airing everything out was her idea. Talking about it on the Trash Tuesday podcast was obviously her idea. And then inviting Brendan Schaub to do a Tiger Belly episode that completely backfired on her and showed a weird way about her personality and the way she went about handling the entire situation. One of the things that probably bothered everybody the most was the fact that she made Bobby Lee essentially share very intimate and uncomfortable details about his personal life. And, these are details that didn't make him, look that good, because everything that she was sharing just essentially made her look like a genius, like she was the one benefiting from the relationship. For example, like I just mentioned, just last week, one of their most recent episodes, she made Bobby Lee go on a 30-minute rant about how the entire relationship falling apart and them separating is all his fault. Somehow it all falls down on him. Somehow it all falls back on him, and she has nothing to do with it. He talks for about 30 minutes explaining the situation, going over a lot of rumors that were happening online and all that kind of stuff. And when it was her turn to talk, all she did was just cry. She didn't say a word. She just cried, and they ended the episode.
All I wanted to say.
It's my go.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, Khalyla?
Yeah, I just I'm sad, but I love you, and that's it. And yeah, this podcast has changed my life.
So essentially what all the fans were supposed to interpret from that was, oh, it's all Bobby Lee's fault. She is perfectly fine. She's just a victim. Okay, let's move on and let's all love Khalyla. But no, we all saw right through it. And that leads us to our last point, which is the breakup. Everyone can see she did this whole breakup thing because she's getting so much hate, because this breakup thing doesn't mean anything. They have already been in a weird open relationship since way back, okay? A long time ago. Which means that she was already doing what she wanted to do, and she was living the single lifestyle. This was proven when she admitted that she was sleeping with somebody, with the guy from Hawaii.
He's a very handsome island thick boy. Is all I'll say.
That she loved and that Bobby Lee approved. She proved to herself that she was sleeping with somebody else while Bobby Lee was relapsing in LA. Now she is using the excuse that dropping the label of boyfriend and girlfriend has helped out the relationship a lot, and that they are now closer than ever. They have plans of traveling in the future. It's just a very weird situation. It really is. I like the open mindset and the willingness of Bobby Lee to try this out, but from the outside looking in, it looks very bad. It looks like she got everything that she wanted, and she's forcing Bobby Lee into essentially bending over backwards for her. I mean, it's pretty crazy. They even talked about it with Andrew Schultz, and you can see his reaction to that.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby, we haven't spoken since.
Since what?
Since your whole thing. Since you're free. Are you guys still in that same place? On the hill?
In the same hill place. And
Yeah.
she's also, we sleep on the same bed.
What? This is, but
You could tell he was holding back, but either way, because she clearly doesn't mind co-living with another person that she can control and be the alpha around. But on the other hand, Bobby Lee might not want to be in a situation where he is alone, and might just want to do what they're doing in hopes that it works out in the future. In conclusion, I used to give her the benefit of the doubt because, again, she did help him build the Tiger Belly podcast. She is a pretty decent co-host, and she sold me on the idea that she was so broken that she was a perfect match for Bobby Lee. But after witnessing the way that she acted through the entire Brendan Schaub drama, it made me realize that she's just a smart, calculated person. And the idea of her only using Bobby Lee as a stepping stone into being a celebrity is no longer completely out of the question. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.